What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe. We're going to talk about that Dark Dagger here a little bit. Disclosure up front, like always, these are my setups. These are my personal ways of playing it. I've spent a lot of time running this thing in the past week or so since it's come out. Quite frankly, I have not touched any of the other Syndicate weapons that came out since this one came out, and I'm in love with this thing. Okay. I'm going to now obviously get into the other ones, but this was the first one that I wanted to get to, and I just can't put it down. Okay, these setups that I do, again, these are my personal setups for 3 years now. Everything that I've ever done is my personal setup. If you play my style, if you like the way I do it, then it may work for you. It may, at least if you don't play my style 100%, or if you're just kind of looking to get into figuring out where to start, this may help you with something to start where you can tweak it to something that's better for you. This is not a min-max. I will never min-max based off of some math calculations and all that bullshit. Okay? I play the game to enjoy the game, and as such, I will put on whatever mods I want and play it however I want, because that's what the game is about. Playing it your way. Okay? So, with that said, let's just kind of quickly talk about this a little bit, man. I love this thing. I love it. Okay, works perfectly for me with everything that I use in terms of Warframes that I really like, except for Titania. It doesn't fit Titania very well, but that's based off of the type of mods that I'm using that we'll see here in just a couple of minutes. Overall, I don't know. I think this is the top of the Syndicate melees that came out. Just my personal opinions right now, or at least this is just kind of where I kind of went to with it. What's really nice with this is that there are some nice perks to this weapon. Okay, so first off, when held, that RAKTA Dark Dagger will reduce the range where enemies can actually spot you by 33%. That's an innate that's on here. So normally you could be spotted within 15 meters. When you have this being held, and it's actually your primary weapon at the moment, they can only spot you at 10 meters or shorter. Okay, so you get about 5 meters changed up there. Also, attacking an enemy affected by a radiation proc will actually restore your shields by 5% of the damage dealt, and the amount of shield points restored is affected by damage mods as well, and can actually grant you over shields, which is just freaking insane. Okay, and you'll see that as you play it more. And that's just something that I'm loving, and it's fitting with Oberon just so perfectly because of that. I can get over shields. I've got the radiation procs with Oberon, no problem, right? That's what he does. That's what he does. I can do it covertly. I can use the Gleaming Blight mod as well. Okay, so everything just kind of plays in there with this. Just kind of like, it's like, I don't know, it's just like a mind-blown type of thing. So you got covert lethality you can put onto this weapon. Of course, helping your stealth, giving you extra bonuses on damage, better finishers, that increased finishing. You got your Gleaming Blight, which is compatible with this weapon. Will deal the radiation procs and allow you to restore the shield as well. Okay, so a little bit of everything that's going on with this weapon. I mean, so it's just kind of awesome. For me to see that they did this, and it just kind of makes the whole Red Veil group for me so much better. Just adds to the ones that I really like. Anyway, I'm just kind of like rambling here, but so you got your covert lethality. It does 100 extra points of damage on melee attacks or lethal damage if you do it undetected. With that innate, that is so much better. Okay. With Gleaming Blight, of course, that's the Dark Dagger stance, which actually works on this. You're going to get your increased status chance by up to 100%, plus your 1 Blight. And that 1 Blight, basically what that does is it discharges a radial explosion, dealing 1,000 viral damage to enemies around the player, restoring 25% of your base energy, and actually temporarily increasing your movement speed. Movement speed increase, viral proc, base energy recharge. You see where we're going with this? I mean, you've got so much going on with this weapon. It's just insane. Over shields. I don't know what to say. Anyway, This is like one of those must-have weapons. It's insane. It's not even a side grade to the regular Dark Dagger. This is just a complete full upgrade to the Dark Dagger with what you can do with this in terms of how it plays. Speed is better. Higher base damage is pretty significant in terms of base damage. With the RAKTA, you got a 50 base versus a 35 base. It's just, I don't know what it is. It is 125,000 Syndicate standing to buy. But I don't know what it is that makes this one, to me, feel so much better than the regular Dark Dagger, which I do like. But this one's just blows my mind. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let me get over to the setup that I've got going on here. Okay, so on to the actual setup here. And this is just me, guys. You know, I mean, like I said here in the beginning, it's just the way that I play and the way that I do it. So, going Homing Fang. I went Prime Pressure Point here. We're getting a 20% status chance. I was actually up to 32%, but I wanted to increase the damage here. So, I did so by putting in a Fever Strike here and a North Wind instead of the status dual stat mods. I'm going with Spoiled Strike as well for more damage, even though it brings down the attack speed, but that doesn't matter here since I've got Prime Fury running at a 45% attack speed increase. I'm still coming out with a 125, which is better than the 1 that was in there, obviously. But I'm getting a 125 instead of a 145. No loss for me anymore with this. I can really benefit the 100% damage and not even worry about that negative attack speed anymore. So, other than that, we've got Covert Lethality, of course, extra damage on melee attacks or lethal damage on finishers. This does work out well. It works fine. I realize that on the other side of this, I'm using the Gleaming Blight, so I'm getting the status chance on the proc plus the 1 blight on the proc, which kind of offsets being covert. However, I can go into a room, knock out a few enemies covertly, if you will, get that kind of damage, and then by the time I am recognized, if I'm not running, let's say, you know, a quieter frame like a Loki or something like that, I've got Gleaming Blight, which is going to pop, does its status chance, does its thing, if you will, its AoE effect, and it just works. It just works for me. Life Strike right now, it's there, because you never know. For Oberon, I don't really need it, because I can just pop a heal from Oberon anytime I want to, but I've got it there because I've been switching it on and off with different frames, trying to figure out whether I really like it or not. Now, this Dark Dagger setup will not really be very effective, let's say, with Titania, because of how she utilizes mods, per se, meaning that the Gleaming Blight would be useless, Life Strike would be useless, Covert Lethality would be useless in that respect for her. But overall, I like this setup for me. No min-max, whatever that is, you know, all that crap. I'm running Radiation Viral, just like it that way. Works great with Oberon and his setup. But again, that's just me. You guys can do with it whatever you want to do. One Forma, just put your imagination to the test and try something different. That's all I've ever done for 3 years. Is just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to put my imagination test. Just play what I want to play. And that's the way it is. Anyway, I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.